let me take away this so we don't have to have everybody's picture there. Okay. So, when they put it in the problem, it kind of doesn't look like this, but this is how it would actually look if you got it on the floor. You would have this bottle of, this is Fossa Prepitant, 150 milligrams, okay? And you're going to give this to a client who's getting chemo. So it's saying that you're going to give this, before the procedure, and you're giving it for nausea. And it wants to know mLs per hour that you should administer the reconstituted medication. And then you're going to click on the exhibit button. So that's where you're going to get your information to determine how you're going to reconstitute it. And whenever you get something on the floor that needs to be reconstituted, this is basically how it's going to come. And then inside, you're going to get something like you're going to see in this exhibit, which let's look at that. This is the medication package insert. So this tells you how to reconstitute it. So for this one, you have to use sodium chloride, all right, and you add 5 mLs for each 150 milligram vial. And then add the solution to 145 ml infusion bag and mix it. So you would mix it separately in this vial first, and then you would add it to your bag. Sounds a little complicated, but it's not really all that hard. All right, now it's giving you your patient's allergies, which you want to look at, the emission weight, their height, and their body surface area. Okay, you're given 150 milligram dose IV once, 30 minutes before chemo, and you're going to give it over 20 minutes. Okay, so it's 150 milligrams per dose, and you're giving it over 20 minutes. All right, so now what you have to figure is, what is my solution going to be? So if you're adding 5 mLs and it's not giving you anything else, then your solution is going to be 150 milligrams per 5 ml. Do you understand why? Anybody have questions about that? And if this seems a little too complicated, then let me know. We'll go back to something a little simpler. All right, so you're given mLs per hour. All right, so sorry. I think I'm gonna pull up Saunders and go to one that's a little simpler for you guys, because I don't want to get you confused. And I don't hear anybody saying anything, so to me that says maybe we need to look at something a little bit simpler. All right, so let's see if we can pull up Saunders and find one. I'm limited to what I have in your book in Saunders. And UWorld, which might be a little too complicated for you guys because that's really geared towards people that are getting ready to sit for the boards. So you might not be quite there yet. Although with math, you want to make sure that's, your strong point. All right, we'll get to a constitution one, but we'll start with this one. This one should be fairly simple for you guys. So you have, does somebody want to read the question? Does it help you better if you read the question over me?
I can't see the problem.
You can't see the problem because I'm probably not sharing the screen. So whenever I'm not sharing the screen, say, hey, teach. We have to actually be able to see the screen to do the problem. How's that?
Perfect.
So you can read it out loud if you want. Or I'll read it out loud. The nurse is completing a time tape for 1,000 ml bag scheduled to infuse over 8 hours. So if I just asked you mLs per hour, how would you set that up?
1,000 milliliters divided by 8 hours.
Okay, and that would give you how many mLs per hour?
$125.
Okay, good. So we have this bag, it's scheduled to go over 8 hours, and we know that it's going at 125 mLs an hour, okay? Now, we just put a mark at 1100 hours or 11 a.m., okay? And we put that mark at the 500 ml level in the bag. So that means the bag is down to 500 mLs at this point, okay? In an hour at 12, we're going to come back and check it again. And at which time, how much would we expect to have left in the bag? Because that's where we're going to put the tape at 12 o'clock to show us how much more went out of the bag. So what you have to determine here is how much went out of the bag between 11 and 12. So we just said it's going at how many mLs per hour?
125.
125.
And from 11 to 12 is how many hours?
1.
So if we know our
1
bag
hour.
was at 500, it went for 1 hour at 125. How much are we going to have left at 12?
I got me some too. Anybody? We have 500. It's going to run from 11 to 12. So
Is
if
it
we're
375?
good, 375.
375?
Yes. Everybody understand how we got to that calculation? Because this is kind of like the timed bags and stuff that you're going to see. Remember, you're going to have one that says something like this. Let me pull up my whiteboard.
I have my other juice.
So you're going to have one that says something like this. You have 1,000 mLs. And it's going over, let's say 3 hours. Okay, after 2 hours, it stops. Okay, and 700 mLs are left in the bag. Okay, so now you have to determine how much is going to flow and when it's going to get done. So you started at 9:30, so it was supposed to end at 12:30. When it stopped, right, and you had to reset it up, that took about a half hour. So you started it back up at Oh, wait a minute. It went 3 hours. I'm sorry. After 2 hours, it stopped. So at 11:30, it stopped. All right, so that means you have how much time left to infuse? 1 hour, right? And you have
Right.
700 left in the bag. So now you're going to have to run it at what rate? Can you change the rate on it? Because that's what these questions are checking you on.
Mm, mm. Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it has to run for 3 hours. So it's not going to end at 12:30. That's what's going to happen because you have to adjust that time frame, right? Because you're
Yeah.
supposed to run it over 3 hours. So if your infusion stops for 30 minutes, then you would have to add that 30 minutes onto your end to the end of your time. Do you understand that? You can't speed the IV up
Right.
in order to get it in. So
Mhm.
that's what these questions are asking you. So I just want you to see this concept and then I'll pull up an actual problem. But I want you to see this concept so you understand why it's questioning you on this, because sometimes IVs stop, they infiltrate or whatever. And now you still have to get that IV in and you still have to do it in a safe fashion, right? Yes?
Right. Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's pull up one of these one of the ones that you guys had on your quiz then. That'll probably be more beneficial to you.
Okay. We can see it.
See my whiteboard though, right?
Yep, the whiteboard. Yep.
Okay. So you have an order for 1 milligram IM. The drug comes in a vial containing 50 milligrams. The directions say add 5 mLs for a final concentration of 10 milligrams per 1 ml. After reconstituting, how many mLs should you draw up? Okay, so when you do math, what do you have to have in order to do a math problem? You have to have your desired dose, right? Plus what you have on hand. And this is the same thing here. So your desired dose here is 1 milligram, right? Yes, hello?
Yeah.
Talk to me, nurses, so I know you
You're
understand.
absolutely right. Desired
Yeah.
is 1 milligram. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
what we
yes.
have on hand, if our final concentration is 10 milligrams per 1 ml, that's what we have on hand.
Gotcha.
So now you're just going to take your desired dose and put it over
Over the
what
hat.
you have on hand.
Gotcha. Times 1 ml.
Yes.
So,
That 1 ml, by the way, is part of what you have on hand. So it's 1 milligram over 10 milligrams times 1, because that 1
Yeah.
ml is part of what you have on hand.
So
And
I
then you're
got
going to round that to
0.1.
the nearest tenth. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got 0.1.
Okay.
I don't know if that's right. I'm just saying.
What everybody else get? Where's my phone? I need a calculator.
1 divided by 10. Yeah, well, times 1 equals same thing.
Be
Yeah,
the same number because 1 times
0.1.
anything is itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, 0.1 ml. Okay, how about this one?
Now, what is the question asking you?
How many drips a minute should a patient
How many
receive?
drops per minute? Okay, so that's it right there. That's the thing you want to see. How many drops per minute? So to do this one, you need what?
Volume over time.
Yeah,
Times
I
the
would
drop
drip
factor.
factor.
yeah.
Okay,
So 1,000 divided by 10 hours times 20.
Times 20.
So Ms. Loesch, I got, oh, should I tell the answer yet or no? Or what I think is the answer?
so if you got the right answer right, then you should have 1,000 divided by 600 times
Right.
20.
That's what I did. Okay.
Oh, shucks. Now, oh, yes, right, because you
Now,
have
when it
to
says
put it
numeric
into
order, should we keep the
hours.
three?
Sorry.
When it says numeric only, all you're going to put there is yes, you're going to put the point, because otherwise the answer would be wrong. But what it's saying is you don't have to put drops per minute
Gotcha.
or mLs or anything like that.
Okay.
Now, I do want to show you something with this problem. So let's see, let's bring up a new share. All right, so it's 1,000 mLs per 10 hours. Can you see my whiteboard?
Yes.
What if it said using a micro bore set? Give me the drops in minutes.
60?
Okay, good. All right, so if it says micro bore, then it's still going to be 1,000 divided by 600, but your drop rate will be 60. All right, so a PD set or a micro bore set, the drop factor is automatically 60. Okay, this one you have to convert. So for conversions, is everybody good with that? Don't be ashamed to say if you're not, because sometimes it takes a little bit of getting the drift. Okay, so you just
You can explain it to me.
have to
I get
remember.
confused.
All right, if you look at it on the metric scale, it'll always be easier for you. So grams, milligrams, micrograms, okay? Going this way to the right, we're always going to multiply or move the decimal 3 places to the right, okay? If we're going this way, then we're always going to divide or move the decimal to the left. So in this case, if you were going from 0.5 grams come on, to milligrams, all right, you got to move it 3 places to the right. So 0, can you still see it? 1, 2, 3, right? And then we add the zeros, and it would be 5,000. Right? If the same thing, if you took 0.5 and multiplied it times 1,000, is it 5,000 or 500? Maybe I did the math wrong there. I don't like moving the zeros. I got to do the math. But for some of you, you might like to move the zeros. So 0. It's probably 500. 0.5 times 1,000. 500, yeah. So I put one too many zeros. I was wondering why it wouldn't fit. All right, so I started here. 1, 2, 3 is what I said, and that comes out to 500. Do you see that?
Yes. What did you do? You multiplied 0.5 times what?
1,000.
Time.
I can't hear you. You cut out.
No, I said okay.
Okay. So I'm converting the order from grams to milligrams because that's what I have on hand. I have 250 milligram capsules, right? And it makes it pretty easy actually, because once I either move the decimal 3 places to the right or multiply it times 1,000, it gives me 500 milligrams. And I already know that's 2 capsules, right?
Right.
Yes.
I'm looking for ones that you guys are going to see on your next dosage calc. All right, how about this one? What's the question asking you for?
I can't see
can't
the
see
new
it.
question, Professor Loesch.
You still see the whiteboard.
How about now?
Yes,
can
thank
see
you.
it now? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so what's it asking us for?
GTT per minute.
Okay, so what do you need? It's always the same thing for drops per minute. What do we need?
The volume over time times drops per minute.
Okay. So what's our volume here?
100.
100.
Okay. It has to
100.
be something with mLs behind it. Remember that? Because it's a
Mhm.
volume. All right. And what's our time?
30.
30 minutes. So it's already in minutes for us. So we don't have to do anything with that. And then what's
Mhm.
our drop factor?
15.
15.
What'd you get?
50.
Okay, that's what I got, 50.
50.
Okay. The patient is to receive Vibramycin 100 milligrams PO twice a day for 7 days. On hand are 50 milligram capsules. How many capsules will the patient receive for the 8 a.m. dose?
Mm.
2.
Okay, 2. So how many pills would we need to go for the whole 7 days?
28.
Okay, so 4 a day times 7 days. Okay, they like to ask questions like that just to make you think. So you just want to read like, what's the whole question asking me?
Can we go back to that problem?
Sure.
Okay. Twice a day.
How
for
many
7
pills
days.
how many capsules will the patient receive, you said, for 8 a.m.?
Yes.
So we do desired over half?
Yes.
Okay. And then it's just that
Right, yep.
answer.
Well, if you know you have 50 milligrams on hand and you need 100 milligrams, then you're going to give 2, right? And then I asked you, how many would you need for 7 days, for all 7 days? So if you were checking the prescription, let's say you had somebody with dementia or something, and you just wanted to count to make sure that they're dosed out accurately, you might want to know how many you actually have on hand, because you might be checking them, right?
Right.
Or even if they didn't have dementia, because if they did, they might not be administering them themselves, but you know, whatever the case may be, you might want to know for some reason how many you actually have on hand. And they like to quiz you on stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, how about this one? Because this has a lot of numbers in it. So what do you need for this? Your desired order, which is what?
50 milligrams.
50 milligrams. Okay, what do you have on hand?
25.
25 per ml. So 50 divided by 25 times 1, right? That should be 2.
Right.
Is that what you got?
Yes.
It just looks
Yeah.
like a lot of numbers, but you have to, if you can figure out how to set
It
your
does.
problem up, like what numbers that you need to set your problem up, then everything else you realize is just fluff. It's not fluff for a reason, because this is how it comes in real life. When it comes from the pharmacy, they're going to send you a 6 ml ampoule, because the pharmacy is not about to run it down to you every 6 hours.
Right.
So you have to be able to understand that dose and how to draw it out of that 6 ml ampoule, so you don't over medicate or under medicate the patient. All right, let me see if I can find some more questions.
I'm fixing your breakfast.
I think it might be week 5 or 6 where the other ones are. Week 8. Let's look at this one. Okay. So, how many of you had difficulty with this one? How would you set this up? And what is it asking you for? Always look at what it's asking you for, okay? Because if you know what it's asking you for, then you know how to set it up, and you don't let all those numbers, look at all those numbers. Oh my God, teach, how am I going to do this? Right?
Right.
So what's it asking you for?
GTT per minute.
So what do you need? Same
Volume
thing.
over
Volume
Volume over
time.
time times times drop factor.
Okay, so what's your volume?
1 liter.
Okay, your
So-
volume is always gonna
1,000, I think.
be in like liters
out.
or milliliters, okay?
So
So that's 1,000 milliliters you have there.
1,000 milliliters. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is your time?
8 hours.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because we're giving it every 8 hours, so we're giving it 3 times a day, so it's going over 8 hours. So what do you have to do with that 8 hours?
Multiply it by 60.
Okay, so that gives you 480 minutes. So now you have
Yep.
1,000 mLs over 480 minutes
Times 15.
Times 15.
times 15, correct.
$31.
31, that's what I got. Everybody get 31?
Yes.
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 Okay, what's this one asking us?
Drops per
Same
minute.
thing.
Drops per minute. So how do we do drops per minute? Say it, nurse. Volume
already
over
said.
time
Volume
times
over
the drop
time.
Time divided by
factor.
Times drops per
times.
minute.
Volume over time
drops
times
per
the
minute.
drop factor.
Per minute.
Okay,
Volume.
so what's our volume?
400,
400.
400.
What's our time?
50
50.
minutes.
Minutes.
Okay, and
50
our
minutes.
drop factor's 10.
Answer's 80.
Is that what everybody else got? I didn't do the math yet.
Oh, what
Yes.
did you get? I didn't hear
80.
I didn't do the math yet.
That's what I got.
it. Got 80, right? Uh-huh.
Yep.
50 times 10. Yeah, I got 80.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Glucophage, 1,000 milligrams, PO, BID with breakfast and dinner. Pharmacy sends 2 grams scored. Ridiculous. Can you see my whiteboard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, we see the whiteboard.
Okay, so we have 2 grams, okay? To put it into milligrams, we're either going to put the decimal 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, or multiply times 1,000. However you want to do it, okay? Oh, back to the question. I need a magic carpet. Okay.
Ms. Loesch, would it be
Yes.
easier to change the milligrams to grams because you only have grams on hand?
True, you could
Would
do it
be
that
1
way.
gram?
You could do it that way. Either way, if you have, well, here's the thing, okay? You have to give what the pharmacy sends. So you can't give something the pharmacy doesn't send. So it would be in a gram, but when you score, if it's a 2 gram tablet and it's scored, what's it going to be when you break it in half?
A half.
A half
1
a
gram.
tablet, and it's going to be equal to what?
1 gram.
0.5.
Or 1,000 milligrams.
Oh,
So the answer is 0.5. Half.
so it's 0.5, right?
So when you took the math, what did you do?
Hmm.
Your desired order is 1,000 milligrams. So you put the 1,000 over the 2,000 and divide it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes it does make more sense to do it one way versus the other, but the math should come out the same.
Mhm.
You just couldn't make something that you don't have. You, man, busy phone today. Okay.
I got that one.
All right. So for this one,
Yes, 10.
we have ordered 5 milligrams, and what you have on hand is what?
4 milligrams.
So how much are you going to give?
So 5 divided by
1.3.
4.
Okay.
Whoa, what is that on there? I guess it's like condensation that was on the table. Oh, from my
Everybody
water.
good with this one?
Yeah.
Oh, did we get 1.2, 1.3 on that?
Yes, because you had to round up there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you have 0.5 grams ordered, okay? And you have a bottle with 375 milligram tablets. So the first thing you have to figure out is how many tablets are you giving? So you're going to convert that 0.75 grams to milligrams. So to do that, you're going to do what?
Multiply by 1,000.
I'm getting in and out. Oh, Lord, I'm gonna get a new bag.
The last 7 days.
So you should be given 2 tablets a day, right?
Mhm.
Or no?
Yes.
2 tablets, yeah.
Okay,
So 7 days.
correct.
And just tell me to shut up whenever you get ready. No.
I don't ever want you to shut up. You don't learn by shutting up. And listen, everybody makes mistakes. I was once in a band. I was in a blues band for a long time. And one of our most popular songs is called We All Make Mistakes. Okay?
Oh,
Because we do all make mistakes. And when you think you're smarter than that, then you can become Trump or whoever.
Right.
Oh my God.
Listen, my CEO at my other
That
job
was a good one.
is so Trump-like. He threw
It
a fit
was.
yesterday at the flu clinic because he couldn't get the shot he wanted. It's so funny. I was just laughing. Like some people are so funny. All right, here's one that looks a little complicated, doesn't it? Looks scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
So it's asking what?
What am I saying?
How many tablets will you administer
How
per
many
dose?
tablets?
So it only wants 1 dose, okay? And what you have is 300 milligrams. What do you need?
Converting.
Convert to 0.45.
Yeah, convert it, multiply it times 1,000. It's probably going to be like 450.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's going to be 1 something tablets, right?
Mhm.
1.5.
So 400 milligrams divided by 300 times 1.
And you know 300 is only going to go into 450 once if you just know a little
Yeah.
bit of math.
One.
So it's only going to be 1 something tablet. So, you know, if you just think about a little common sense, then you can kind of double check yourself right there. Like if you got more than that, then you have to be saying like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong here? So always do your calculator twice because it's easy to make a mistake. Sometimes you don't clear the calculator or you maybe clip another number with your finger and it just makes your answer wrong. It's not that you did the math wrong. Oh, yes, this is one I wanted.
So it's just 1.
what was that, 1.2?
It's just 1, right?
1.5.
It's 1.5.
I didn't do the math, but let me do it. So
I thought it was
should be-
1.3.
That's one
I
point.
got,
I
I got
got
1.3.
1.5.
Hold on.
It's
So
1.5
0.0
tablets, so it's 1.5.
0.45
Yeah.
times 1,000 divided by 300. I got 1.5 tablets.
All right, one and a
Yeah,
half,
me
yeah.
too.
Okay, sorry, one and
Okay.
a half.
Oh, 1.5.
Don't worry about those hours. That's just the part, I think. That's what throws you off.
Because that don't matter. Well,
Mm-hmm.
see, and then again, we go back to what do I always say? Read the question first. Because if you read the question's going to tell you what information you need out of the problem. If you try to read the problem and understand the problem first, sometimes you'll get confused. So if you read the question, you know exactly what you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
Oh.
first thing you have to do here is figure out how much you're giving in a single dose.
How many teaspoons in ml?
So once you do that first, then you can determine that how many teaspoons you're going to need, right? For this one, you have to do the have over need first. So you have 10 milligrams ordered. On hand, you have 10 grams ordered. On hand, you have 40 grams per 60 mLs. So it's 10 divided by 40 times the 60, which gives you what?
15.
15.
Okay. So now how many teaspoons is that equal to?
3.
So 15.
Correct. 5 mLs per teaspoon.
3.
Correct. Or 1 tablespoon. Because
Oh,
15
yeah.
mLs is 1 tablespoon, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see one of these on there, except it might say 17 hours. It might say a lot more hours or a lot less. The math is the same. So what is it asking you?
Milliliters per
Volume over
hour.
time.
mLs per hour. So what do you need for this?
Volume divided by hours.
Okay, volume divided by time in
That's 100.
hours.
Mhm.
Everybody got that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's it asking you? It's really asking you mLs per hour here, okay?
Mhm.
So in order for you to calculate that, how does your time have to be?
In hours.
Okay, so
So
what is
multiply,
divided by 60?
sorry, divided by 60. 30 divided by 60. That's 1.5.
You already know 30 minutes is a half of an hour anyway, so your answer should be 0.5.
0.5. So 200 divided by 0.5.
Right. Whenever you're putting this in 30 minutes, you're always going to have to go twice as fast. So it's probably going to be 400 mLs.
Ms. L, can we go over this one again?
Yes.
Please?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much.
So this is asking you what rate would you set your pump, and your pump is set in mLs per hour, right? So
Mhm.
in order for you to calculate mLs per hour, you need your total mLs, right? Which is
Mhm.
which is what?
200.
200.
Okay. And you need your time in hours. But here your time is in minutes. So you have to convert that into hours. Now it's easy because you know that 30 minutes is half of an hour, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
A half of an hour is if you put it in a fraction, it'd be 1/2, right? So if you took 1 and divided it by 2, or if you took 30 and divided it by 60, either way, you should get 0.5.
Yes.
So that's a half, that represents a half of an hour. I say do the number divided by 60, because let's say if it was 20 minutes. All right, then it doesn't matter what the minutes are. You could just take it and divide it by 60, and that's going to give you your fraction of the hour. So now that you have your time in hours, you're going to take your total volume again, which is 200, and put it over your time in hours, which is what?
0.5.
0.5. So 200 divided by 0.5 should give you 400.
So when it says what rate would the IV pump be set, this question is referring to per hour or automatically.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I gotta do more of those.
Me too.
Yeah. to
Okay,
practice.
so micrograms to milligrams, are we dividing or multiplying?
Divider.
Good. Okay, or you're moving those zeros to
The left.
the left. All right, let me see what else I could find, because I know we're going to have some more. Okay, so here's your first one. What is it asking you?
Milliliters an hour.
Milliliters per hour. So for milliliters per hour, what do you need?
The volume
Okay. And,
Volume over
over
time.
the time,
okay, what's your time here?
half hour.
A half hour. Okay, so you already know that's represented as what?
0.5.
Okay, 0.5. So 200 divided by 0.5 is going to be what?
400.
100.
Yep. Okay. This is one of the ones I was trying to explain to you on the whiteboard. So now that you see the question, hopefully it makes sense to you. All right, so you have an infusion of, well, first let's look at what the question's asking. My bad. Calculate the new flow rate to complete the infusion on time. Okay, so it's looking for drops per minute, right? Because it's asking you about the flow rate, and it's giving you a drop factor, and it's giving you volume, and it's giving you time. So if you look at all that, then you can see that this is asking you for drops per minute. So you have 480 mLs, and it's supposed to go over an hour and 15 minutes. All right, so you started running it, and then 15 minutes later, the volume left is 160 mLs. And it wants you to calculate the new flow rate to complete the infusion on time. Okay, so you started with an hour and 15 minutes, and your infusion went for how long?
15.
15 minutes.
All right, so you still have an hour left to infuse. So an hour is your what?
Your
Time, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you're doing what? Drops per minute. So you need volume, time, and the drop factor, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right. So your time is 1 hour. So that's going to be 60 minutes, right?
Mhm.
Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your volume was 480, but now we only have 160 left. So that's our total volume now, right? 160, because that's
Yeah.
what we have left. So we have 160 mLs left. So that's our total volume. And our rate is, our time is, we just said 60 minutes, right? And our
Yeah.
drop factor is what?
10.
10.
Okay, so it should be 160 over 60
Mhm.
times 10.
That's 27.
27.
That should be right. Let's see if you guys can do this one on your own.
Okay.
100.
Hello? Yes. Do you have a balance or anything? Okay. Mosley is your last name? All right, hold on one second.
Mom, are we almost done?
So I don't see you on the list, so you might want to reach out to Mr. Corsi because she's probably the one that's releasing your grade to you since you're a day student. Look, how about now? Okay, so I don't see you as having a balance, so you might want to reach out to Mr. Corsi because that's probably who has your grade. Yes, you're a day student or evening? Wait a minute, then no. All right, you know what? Let me look at something and I'll give you a call back. This is the best number? All right, I'll give you a call back in a little bit. All right, what'd you guys get? You there?
Still working.
Yeah,
I'm still working
too.
on it.
Okay.
So we're
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm a little stuck on this one.
Okay,
I have a,
so we're
I
gonna
have
go
a,
over it.
okay.
All right, so we have 900 mLs to go over 3.5 hours, and it was supposed to start at 9 p.m. All right,
Mhm.
at 11, it infiltrated. So it went for 2 hours, which means our time remaining is 1.5 hours. So if we're calculating a new flow rate and we need a time, that's going to be our time. So 1.5 in minutes is going to be what?
90 minutes.
Okay, so 90 minutes is our time. Now, at 11 p.m., it infiltrated and it had 325 mLs left. So if there's 325 mLs left, then that's our volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have 325 mLs, which is our volume. We already said our time is,
90 minutes.
and our drop factor is,
15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
54?
Mm-hmm.
54 is correct.
If that's what, that should be right. I didn't do the math, but I believe that's the right answer. All right, I said 325 divided by 90
90.
times 15. Okay, and that's what I got. All right, good.
I'm sorry, where did the 90 come from?
So you started with 3.5 hours. Okay, it went
minutes.
for 2 hours,
Yeah.
right? Because it went from 9 to 11.
Right.
So if it only went 2 hours, that means you still have an hour and a half left. An hour and a half into minutes is 90.
Okay, yep. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a volume of 350. It's supposed to go at 175 mLs an hour. It's now 11:30 a.m. Calculate the infusion time and the completion time. Okay, so since we started with regular time, we're going to stay in regular time. And you know it's regular time because there's a colon in it. Military time doesn't use colons, and it doesn't use AM, PM. So you don't jump to military time unless it asks you. If it said state the completion time in military time, then you would convert it. So you have 350 mLs. If it's going at 175 an hour, how would you calculate the infusion time? It's total volume over your mLs per hour. So your total volume is 350. Your mLs per hour is 175. So your time should be 2 hours, right? 350 divided by 175 should equal
Yeah, that's
2.
correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
So 2 hours from 11:30 is 9:30 a.m. I mean, stupid. I subtracted. Sorry, it should be 1:30 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Let's do the other
Right.
math. Let's go the other way. I'm going backwards today. Y'all running forward. That's because I was up till 4 in the morning checking exams.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, was that our 50 question exam you were checking?
She thinks she's funny. I
Oh,
already got
come on,
y'all's
Miss Loves.
grades.
Be nice.
I got y'all's grades. As soon as y'all get your work done, I can release it because I need to add the stuff that you did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, chapter 19,
We'll
you
give
said?
you time to add
I'm
it.
trying to get you guys to put your prep U in so you can get the points.
Yeah, we
Since
need those
19 wasn't in the books.
No point left behind. No point left behind.
But 19 was on your syllabi and it's on the assignment. So I didn't understand where you didn't see it at. That's the only thing I didn't know. It was definitely on your on your distance learning or your syllabi or one of those two things.
Chapter
You could
19.
tell, Livy, because when I go in there, it looked like I did mine, but I
Yeah.
don't know, because I thought I did mine for the other one, the one that you emailed me about too, but I guess I didn't get the max that I needed to get at the time. But it told me that I did it. I don't know if I was doing it because I was doing it from my computer and my phone. I don't know if it missed. I don't know what happened,
Sometimes it
but-
does, like it doesn't keep up. So you want to always refresh your screens when you go from one device to another, log out, log back in, because otherwise
Okay.
prep you will have you working on stuff. You'll already be leveled up and it'll have you looking like you didn't do anything.
Okay, and I
So,
think that's what
so
happened.
Ms. Doge,
Yes,
I don't have a chapter 19 on PrepU.
really.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to snapshot this and send it to you.
Who's this?
This is Laura. Oh, I'm lying. It just popped up. It is
Okay.
here. I think I finished mine though. Oh yeah, I got a mastery. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. How
If
do
you
I
didn't get an
know?
email from me, you're good. And I don't remember your name being one.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the email that you put for 19, it looked like it was for everybody. It was like 31 people. So
Well,
I
I
thought it
sent
was.
it out because students were saying that nobody did it. So I just sent it out just to let everybody
Oh.
know, because when I have a lot of people that didn't do it, it's easier just to send it to everybody.
But if you got like a specific one letting you know, then that means you didn't do it.
Right. You should have been able
Okay.
to level up to 5. Now I went back in it this morning and sent out specific emails to people because I'm trying to put the
Okay.
grades. I'm trying to release to the dean to go ahead and release the grades. But I don't want to do that because I want everybody to know what your average is right now with everything in it, because this is the last actual grade report you're going to get before your final.
Are you talking
that's
about for
why-
your class?
Huh?
Yeah, it's
You're not talking about Miss D's class, right?
No, I'm talking about my class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you should tell Miss D to send us our average now also. That would be so we can.
When
know
you
where we-
get your grades, you're going to get your average. But if you guys don't have all your VSIMs and everything in, it's not going to show everything done. And that's why I'm pushing my class. But see, I don't know what you guys are doing in the day class. My class had deadlines early. Why? Because you're going to have other deadlines in other classes. And I don't want you to be overwhelmed at the end and not be able to get stuff done. Now, all their stuff is going to be done going into the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So
So
they don't have
I
to
just
worry
got a quick
about L to R. All
question.
they have to do is study for the test.
Yeah. No, so should we be comparing, so our averages for our exams and stuff that we get from Miss Osana, like after the exam. So that is different from the one that we see on Canvas, or is that the same
Yeah,
thing?
it's different. Canvas
So
is
what do you
not a
do with those
reflection
two?
of your real grade.
Okay, so what do you do with those two scores, average on Canvas and the one from the exams? Do you put them together, divide it?
No. So if you look in your syllabi, okay, on your L to R syllabi, it tells you that your participation grade is worth 5% for live interaction. I believe I got to look at the one for L to R because it might be different for L to R, because the one I was looking at yesterday wasn't. So let me pull it up so I don't misquote.
You're gonna go get, hold on.
So each, everything is worth a
Gonna go
percentage.
get
Like
pizza?
each of your exams is worth a percentage. Your
Gonna go get pizza
participation grade
with
is
Jay?
worth a percentage.
Or what you gonna do?
Your live interaction is
Huh?
worth a percentage. And then you have what we call pass or fail projects.
Go out?
So the pass or fail projects, like your care plan, your VSIMs, those are mandatory assignments. If you don't do those, you can't pass the course. Those will knock your, like, let's say you got an 80 in the course, but you didn't do a VSIM or your care plan, your average will automatically go to a 70. You'll automatically have to repeat the course. Now, as far as the participation grade and the live interaction, let me see what those are worth for you in your syllabi. I'm about to pull it up right now. As soon as I find out where it went to. So much stuff on here. Okay. So on your syllabi, on page, come on. Guess I went too fast. Oh, it's way past it. It's on page 3. I was all the way at the bottom. Okay. So yeah, it is going to be the same for you guys. So participation is 5%, recorded lectures are 5%, and then you have exams 2, and and 1 are worth 10% each. And then the midterm is worth 40%. Oh, I'm sorry, 35% of your grade. The final is worth 35% of your grade. So that's how it all breaks down. Now, when you look at the scores on Canvas, those percentages don't really mean anything. Every time you participate, it gives you a certain amount of points towards your overall participation grade and your overall recorded lecture grade. So at the end, they calculate all that up as to how much you participated, and then the percentage of that against your final grade. That's how that works.
Okay.
So as long as you go into the course pretty much with, as long as you go in with a passing grade, like to the final, you should be fine. You don't worry about those scores on Canvas, because those are just going to be extra points if you participated in everything that you did or were supposed to.
Right. So just worry about the ones that we get through email.
Yeah, like a task and assignments that you didn't do that you have the opportunity to make up. And just remember that going forthright, you need to remember a couple of things. First of all, you're first term students right now. So you might be getting a couple of breaks that you're not going to get going forthright. Your prep you got to be done. And those prep you are free points towards the exam. When you don't do them, you lose points, or you don't earn the ability to earn points. And those are free points. And I see people not get over the hump just because of those points. And then, assignments. So from the day of your live interaction, so let's say if your live interaction was today, within 7 days of that date, you have to turn in all your assignments except for the live interaction. Live interaction, you are really supposed to put in the day you attend, but they give you a grace period of 1 day. So if you don't put it in by the next day, though, because you forgot or whatever, you lose the opportunity. They don't give it back to you. And that takes points off of your participation grade. The same thing with the recorded lectures. You have 7 days to listen to it. After that, it's late. So depending on how many days it's late, if it's severely late, they may let you watch it, but you won't get points for it. And then if you don't watch it, you could miss something in the lecture that's on the exam. So you want to make sure that you're just trying to keep up with everything. Have yourself a nice organized calendar and try to stay on track, because it's too overwhelming when you don't. And
now I have a question about the lectures. Because I've done everything, BSIMS, prep use. I don't really have a problem with that. I listen to my lectures, but now the first time I did experience, so the recorded lecture for Elder R that was posted on the 19th. For some reason it was locked on the 22nd, because I tried to watch it yesterday and I couldn't. It said it was locked.
It shouldn't be locked, because you guys should be able to watch that all the way throughout the term.
Right.
So it was the one.
Yeah, it's the one from the 19th. And now that was the week we were doing our final. So I didn't get a chance. I wasn't going to watch it till yesterday, but it still should have let me earn the points from watching it plus watch it. So it's the one from 10/19. And it says it was locked on the 22nd.
All right, I'll have to look into that, because we did.
And I tried to go into modules. I tried to pull it up both ways, into the module on the Elder R page, and also on my sideline when it says things to do.
Okay.
So
did
it's
you let
locked.
Mr. Corsi know so that she could let the because if you let us know, we can let the pod coordinator know, so this way they can have someone go in and look at the lecture.
I'm going to let her know this morning. I'm going to email her. Well, it's an afternoon now. I'll email her today.
And I'm going to email the coordinator also, but I'll look at it first, because I always look at it first to see what the issue is before I email. So, okay.
Miss Loesch, I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we did receive our next 3 classes that's supposed to happen next term. Do you know, with your pathophysiology, math, and sociology, do you know if they use the same type of program you do as Prep U for like assignments that need to be done for any of those 3 classes?
I don't believe sociology has Prep U. What's the other one?
Pathophysiology.
I think Patho has Prep U, but I don't think you get Prep U points. But I think they have Prep U and Prep U quizzes.
Okay. And math, how about the math?
Math don't have prep you as far as I know. Math has Mr. Butler.
Okay.
And if Mr. Butler can't teach you math, probably nobody can.
All right.
He's pretty good. You know, he's used to teaching at every level of math. So, you know, I think that you'll be okay with him. He starts at a very basic level and then builds you guys up. So I've never taken his math class. I've been in a couple of them.
He's good.
But he's funny too. And, you know, he'll make it amusing for you.
That's the truth.
All right, I want to see if we can find a couple of more of these time ones. So we'll probably only get to math today, it looks like, because I'm definitely doing just to 2 o'clock today. I need a break. I got to get out and do something besides work. Besides that, if I don't, my wife's probably going to be looking like OJ. Okay. She's going to kill me and all these people that I'm having affairs with. Okay. The students. Jeez, my jokes are that bad.
No.
No, they're funny.
I'm laughing. It's just on mute.
I know. I had to unmute mine.
I was laughing in my head.
So Miss Loesch, when do you think that, I know you have a life and you deserve one. When do you think that our 50 question test we did, we'll see the results for that? Maybe by the end of the weekend?
Oh, you'll probably have them on Monday is my guess.
Okay.
So I'll be releasing to Miss O by tomorrow morning once everybody gets their prep U in. So again, a couple of students had a hard time getting in there. So I was just trying to give everybody an equal opportunity to get that in. And then, so I'll probably send her the stuff over by tomorrow morning, because when I get off of here today, I don't intend on coming back on here at all tonight. And then tomorrow morning, though, I'll be back on bright and shining early. I'm usually on Sundays by 6 or 7 o'clock. So
All right.
I'll release everything to her, but of course she won't be there, and it wouldn't matter if I released it to her today or tomorrow anyway, because she's probably not around or not releasing grades. I don't know yet.
Okay.
But I could tell you that it looks very promising for both classes.
Yay.
Oh, right. Oh, great.
Right, very proud of
That's
y'all.
good
Really,
to
For the day
hear.
class too?
really, yes, really very proud of y'all.
You sure
That
for
is
the
so
day
good to
class?
hear. Oh,
Right.
Lord. I
Why
think my
would I
stress
lie?
level can go down a little bit.
Why would I lie?
That's because we got you, Miss Loesch. You definitely helped us out. I know you
I'm
helped me
dyeing
out
my
a
hair
lot.
red after this
Y'all
class.
gotta yourself. That's who you gotta hold accountable, is yourself.
Mhm.
I'm just, you know, here to help move you along a little bit, but oh, good. Here's a reconstitution one here.
I'm sorry, Miss Al.
I just try to demand the best from you, because if I want you to be the best, I have to give you my best. All right.
Miss Al,
Yes.
I was checking for the recorded lecture for the 19th, like the other student was saying, and we don't have access to it. It says that the due date is the 23rd. So
Yeah. It
is
says it was
is
locked on
locked?
the 21st. Mine
Yeah.
says 21st. Shit. at
Mine
11.
says the 23rd, so I can't even access it right now.
I am going to send out, I just want to go ahead and start working on the question, and I'm going to look at the video right now in student mode. So,
All right.
because I never send a video, an email out until I actually look at it myself, just because I have instructors that send me stuff and they didn't ever double check it. And then when I go to check it, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's working. And it's like, did you check this?
Yeah.
So you can at least tell me what the students saw.
Yeah.
All right. So it's for 1019. And yes, someone else had another question.
No, I was just saying that, yeah, I guess for your class, it might be different. So mine was locked on the 21st at 11:59 p.m. And I think she said hers was locked on the 23rd, which is your class. But I gotta go, Miss Loesch. I appreciate everything you do, but I'm gonna clock out now.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, here's another reconstitution. Let's see if we can do it. So remember, what do you need here? It's a simple desired over have, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, it is indeed locked.
All right.
Okay, that's sent. So hopefully they fix it.
Okay.
Thanks, Ms. On.
You're welcome. All right, so what'd you guys do? How'd you solve this?
I did 200 divided by 1,000.
Mhm.
And that's did the 0 point. What I just did?
0.2.
0.2 divided by 1 times 3.
Hold on.
Which gave me 0.6.
I did 0.2 times 3 milliliters. And you got the
Okay, so it
0.6
should have been
Yeah, I
200
got 0.6 too.
divided
times.
by 1,000
Mm-hmm.
times 3,
Mm-hmm.
Equals
0.6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got what everybody did?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, how about this one?
One.
I got 0.16.
Okay, so 800 divided by 5,000, right? Times 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So 0.16 you should have got.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, reconstitution. Let's see how you're doing, superstars.
When you sold it to us.
What'd you get?
1.6.
Okay, good. Anybody that didn't get it? Because you're definitely going to see one of these on the dosage calc quiz exam. So if you don't get it, speak up now. Or email me, okay? If you don't want to say it because you feel embarrassed or whatever, don't. All right, sometimes I look at them and I still don't get it. But I'm okay with that. Just email me so we can meet one-on-one so you're prepared for the
It's Loge.
last test. Yes.
It's Laura. I'm sorry to interrupt. My computer is doing something crazy. I was trying to talk while you were saying it, but anyhow, I just want to make sure the 1,000 milligram I'm going to do divided by 6 hours.
No. You don't
I'm
need the
gonna
6
do-
hours.
Don't worry about the 6 hours.
No. So for reconstitution, okay, it's simply desired over have. Okay.
Okay. For
So your
reconstitution.
desired dose is the 1,000 milligrams because that's what the doctor ordered. What you
Yeah.
have on hand is the final concentration that is left once you reconstitute. In this case, it's 1 gram per 1.6 mLs. So you either have to convert your Tigar to 1 gram or convert your 1 gram down below to 1,000 milligrams.
So the
So it'd be
answer is
1,000 divided by
1.6, right?
1,000 times 1.6.
Okay. So the answer is 1.6.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. My computer's trying to die on me, and so I'm trying to look as it's flashing. Thank you, though.
No problem. Here's another one.
Is it 8?
So you should have 1875 divided by 1,000 times 2.5, right? So your answer should be D,
D.
4.7.
Wrong enough. Sorry. Yeah.
Because you're
Forgot
going to
about-
round up to the nearest 10th, right?
Yes. Forgot about that. Yeah. That's on me. Yeah.
Everybody good with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Again, what is this asking me? It's asking me to calculate the infusion time and the completion time. Now, I know that in regular time, because of what?
905.
Okay, I have a colon
Cool.
and I have a PM, right? So that
Yeah.
tells me I'm not in military time. So unless it tells me to give an answer in military time, I'm not giving an answer in military time. Now, if this 905 said, whatever 9 is, add 12 to it. So what, 2205 or 2105? All right, if it said 2105 and there was no colon there, then that would tell me, and no PM there, that would tell me it was military time. All right. All right, so now our infusion is set at 70 mLs per hour and we're going at 200 mLs per hour. So in order to calculate our mLs per hour, what do we have to do?
Volume over time.
So in order to calculate your your time, you're going to take your 200 mLs and divide it by the 70, right? And that's going to tell you how much time it's going to take for this to infuse.
I got stuck on this one.
Okay, so
Hold on.
what's your total volume here?
Hold on.
Volume, 200, right?
Okay, and you know it's going at 70 mLs an hour, right?
Oh, yes.
So if you take your 200 and divide it by 70, that will tell you how many hours it's going to take for your infusion to run.
A5.
This one's a little confusing for me. Yep.
So you got 2.85 hours, okay? Now you're going to round that 2.85 up to 2.9.
Okay.
Now, in order to calculate how many minutes, you already know it's 2 hours, right? So if you add 2 hours onto 905, that gives you 1105, right? That was your 2 hours. Now, how did they get to 59 minutes? They took the 0.9 and they multiplied that times the number of minutes in an hour, which is 60. Because that 0.9 represents a fraction of an hour. So 0.9 times 60 should give you 54 minutes. And when you add that 54 minutes onto 1105, that brings it to 11:59 p.m. Everybody got that?
And that's not in military time, right?
No.
Okay.
So your
That
answer for
confuses
this
me.
is A. Your answer for this is A. It ran for 2.9 hours. And then the time to stop would be 11:59, and everybody knows how we got to 11:59, right? Everybody totally understands that.
Yeah.
Anybody on mute that doesn't understand that?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Okay. Just going to look at any other quizzes we might have and see if there's any other math that I missed going over with you guys. Did I miss something that anybody's struggling with?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Let's launch. How many questions is usually on the final?
100 usually, or it might be 75. I'm not sure, but it could be anywhere between 75 and 100.
Okay, thank you.
Which is a good thing for you guys, probably.
And it's gonna be like for the whole entire course, right? All inclusive, all the chapters.
Yeah. Stupid. I'm going to see if I could pull up these questions that we're going to go through real quick. Let me see. Where's that PowerPoint? I know it's on here. Let me see if I can do it another way. Nothing ever works right when you want it to.
Please stop that. All right, let me try this again. Oh, this thing's getting on my nerves. Sorry, guys. It's just not being cooperative. You know, maybe I could just bring it up on my other computer. Okay, let me shut this off. All right. No, shut something else off. How about now? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The nurse and the physical rehab discuss therapy schedule and goals for a client on rehab. What type of communication is occurring between the nurse and the therapist?
Interpersonal?
Personal.
Interpersonal. Intra is when we talk to ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try to tell ourselves about good things. Small group is something like if we had a policy and procedure committee meeting. And organization is when we're trying to set goals for the organization. Oh, I guess it's not gonna work there because of it here. Okay. When assessing a client's nonverbal communication, the nurse will assess which characteristic as the most expressive part of the body.
See, facial expression.
Sorry, guys.
Is C.
Mhm.
Okay, good. The face usually tells it all, right?
Mhm.
Posture is going to
Yeah.
tell us some stuff, okay? Eye contact can really vary from person to person, right? Because depending on what your culture is, on whether or not you even want to look at me, and that might not have anything to do with you. I just might not feel like I'm respecting you or whatever. So it's really more to do with that. Okay, dialysis nurse, caring for the client on the dialysis unit. All right, and for the access that's inserted into the client's right arm, the nurse assesses the client's fears and concerns related to dialysis, the dialysis access and care of the access. This information is taught over several sessions during the course of the client's hospitalization. Which phase of the working relationship is best described in this scenario?
Working phase.
Yeah, the working phase.
Okay, good. In which of the following situations would S-bar technique of communication be most appropriate? So we got 1, the nurse is explaining the process of a bone marrow biopsy to a client scheduled for the procedure. 2, nurse is facilitating a family meeting in order to coordinate a client's discharge planning. 3, nurse is teaching a client about benefits of smoking cessation and risks of continuing to smoke. And 4, nurse is calling the physician to report client's new onset of chest pain.
D.
D.
D is in dog.
A.
Yeah, D. Mhm.
Hello?
I'm here. I just
Okay.
clicking on the wrong screen because I got 2 screens going here. So D is correct. All right, for the
Okay.
physician. A nurse manager must provide care to her clients and her employees under the constraints of her resources. This involves maintaining the financial constraints of her division. What term best describes this scenario?
Financial management.
I'll say resource.
It might be resource though.
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay, resource manager.
Oh,
In a nursing unit, the RN delegates nursing tasks to the nursing assistants. Keeping in mind the delegation guidelines, which of the following statements denotes the right direction for the nursing assistant? 1, dispose of the disconnected IV set.
Yes.
2, discontinue the IV solution. 3, check the infusion rate. Or 4, inspect the site for thrombophlebitis.
A.
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 Okay, good. A
Can
nurse
I just
is
say
in
something? I
charge.
really, oh, never mind.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I really didn't like that question because it just makes, LPNs seem like, all we're good for is throwing stuff away all the time in these questions. It's crazy. I don't understand why they always use that as an example when we do much more. But okay, I'm letting go of that. On to the next
Well,
thing.
because in real life, you may actually be doing stuff that's not supposed to be being delegated to you. But if
Okay.
you're following what the Board of Nursing says, and remember, when the Board of Nursing's testing you, they're testing you based on the restrictions, states that have the least amount of flexibility. So the more restricted state, it's going to test you on those laws as opposed to what might be the actual laws in your state. Just because if you went to that state to practice, you would have to be aware that the law is that restrictive.
Okay.
A nurse is in charge of a large group of employees on a busy surgical floor. Today's care must be completed early due to a special event involving most of the employees. Which management style would work best in this situation?
Authoritative.
Authoritative.
I keep grabbing the wrong mouse. Okay, how should a nurse leader best address nurses' resistance to a change in shift scheduling protocol on their hospital unit? 1, allow those who remain unconvinced to temporarily opt out of the proposed change. 2, explain the benefits of the change and elicit honest feedback. 3, explain the cost savings that the change will bring for the hospital. And 4, put the matter to a vote and respect the wishes of the majority. So if we're having resistance, then you want to think about ways to get people to change, okay? And what is the most important thing?
Explaining the benefits and asking for feedback.
Okay, because if you do A, right, that's just going to cause uproar. You can't do that. Nobody really cares how much cost is going to save the employee.
Exactly.
Employer, I should say, employer. If it's going to benefit the employee, then I care. But I don't care what benefits my facility, basically. That's not going to be a motivator for me to change. Okay? Because in the end, when they put your tombstone in the ground, nobody's going to put what you did for your facility. We're all indispensable, right? Matter to a vote and respect the wishes of the majority. Well, that might not be an option, because if the majority says we're not doing it, but your boss says you are doing it, guess what? You're doing it, because he don't give two cahoots what the rest of the people think. And if you're not union or some other support there, then, so just think about things that make sense when you do these types of questions if you don't know. The primary responsibility of the nurse manager is to provide direct care, create plans and budgets, direct discharge planning, evaluate nursing care plans. So the nurse manager.
Create plans and budget.
I want to say budgeting.
Because you're definitely not going to provide direct client care.
Well,
I want to say create plans and budgets.
According to NCLEX and your author, you're not. According to real life, you probably are if you're any kind of a manager. Right? You would want to set that example for your people on the store, but really your idea, on the floor, your really ideal job would be to create plans and budgets and delegate that workforce down, right? Discharge planning would be done generally by the nurse who does the admission or the nurse that spends the most time with the patient. evaluating the nursing care plans would be the job of everybody actually that's working with the patient. A nurse manager and the charge nurse have two employees who disagree with the, oh, I already showed you the answer trying to move this stupid Zoom thing. All right. The conflict, the charge nurse has two employees who disagree with the accomplishment of client care. The manager determines a mutually agreed time to discuss the situation with all members involved. This activity is called what?
Conflict resolution.
Conflict
Yeah,
resolution.
So it's not
conflict
problem
resolution.
solving, and it's not client protection, and it's not delegation.
Correct. And we actually talked about this, okay, when we did some of the PowerPoints, okay, about avoidance, about sometimes we'll make deals with people to give them, promise them something for the future. So there's a few different ways we can go through this conflict resolution. Sometimes people ignore it, all right? And it's different ways to solve the problem, or sometimes people just turn a stone eye to it. Karen Wolf, the RN, is the charge nurse on the orthopedic unit. She believes in giving the staff as much power as possible. Nurses are allowed, among other things, to create their own work schedule, provide dates and times for the meeting, and create the agenda to which Karen contributes. Karen's style of leadership can be described as which of the following?
B.
Yeah.
B, laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire. Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Laissez-faire. Yeah.
Okay. So when does this work?
This is what you say. When does it work? When does B?
When
Yeah,
the
when does
nurses
laissez-faire work?
when the nurses are experienced and willing to work together.
So when they're very autonomous, like they have their own initiative, yes, very experienced, they can roll with the punches. They don't need someone to sit there and hold hand them. All right. And they're just going to go through and get the stuff done. And you don't ever have to watch them or check up on them because they're autonomous. In those cases, this will work. It won't work in much other cases. All right, one more, guys, and then I got to roll.
Okay.
All right, the nurse manager tells her staff they need to increase response time to clients' requests by 5 minutes beginning tomorrow. The time to begin this activity has been established by the manager and her staff. The action involves goal setting. What leadership style is noted for implementation of goal setting? So remember that
I would say directive.
Directive leadership is going to be like your autocratic type of leadership. Participative is going to be democratic, sort of. I'm pretty sure it's not shared governance or institutional governance. It's going to be about the organization.
I'm going to say directive.
Someone called me. I told the head she's bringing it down. She was having a lunch. She's bringing it down. Are they ready to leave?
Directive leadership is definitely one of those.
Yeah, you told me already, and I told the head she would bring it down.
An action to do. Ah, shared governance, it said. I don't know about that. I'll have to go back and look that one up.
She's going to bring it down. Okay.
Typically, when we ask our people to join committees or participate in something, it's more of a directive, but I'll look at that one. I'll go back and look at that one. All right, let's do one more because I didn't like that one. The nurse manager is trying to resolve a conflict between the day and night shift. She wants to convince the involved person to set aside their differences, determine a priority common goal having to do with improved client care, and accept mutual responsibility for achieving the goal. The nurse manager is using which type of conflict resolution?
Is it collaborating?
Anybody else? Very good, collaborating. All right, guys, once the whatever part of the video recorded launches up, I'll try to send out the link. Might not be till tomorrow morning because I don't plan on getting back on here again once I get off. Anybody have any questions before I head out?
Miss Lutch, what time you back on tomorrow?
Oh, no, tomorrow I'm just doing other stuff. I have progression students and all I got to meet with tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll just be working on the computer throughout the day, making sure all the grades and everything are up to date and getting everything set up for grades to go out.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Lowe, so will we know what our average is before we take the actual final?
Yeah, you should get your grades no later than tomorrow.
Okay. And last thing, are we gonna have like a review, but not like a review, but like how we've been doing like before the final? Are you gonna do tutoring and stuff so we can, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'll continue to do the weekend tutoring and stuff. Just this weekend, I need a little break. Even though I did give you
Okay.
guys a couple of hours, I mean, I just need, a head break from yesterday. Like yesterday was supposed to be my day off and I literally worked like 17 plus hours.
Oh, man, okay.
A lot.
That means I don't get a day off this
Yes.
week. That was my day off, so I don't get one this week.
Miss Lutch, thank you for your time.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank
Enjoy
you.
your
Welcome.
day.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.